Okay guys, it's Kamikaze Highlander. I'm here. This is, what, 21 days after MKXL is dropped. And I'm here to talk about Ferra Torr, and this is going to be a complete character guide. It's probably going to get split up into 3 videos, just so I can spend as much time talking about each variation as I want. So I'm going to start talking about what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to go over normals, strings, tech, and my game plan. I'm not going to go too much into combos or like super detailed frame data and stuff like that. I will talk about some things because they are crucial. So I'm going to start with normals. I'm going to start with the only truly unique normal. I'm starting with Lackey just because he's the most different than the other 2 variations. And I'm going to start talking about Lackey with normals. The only truly unique normal that Lackey has is this back 2. And it's an overhead, and it starts up this back 2 3 and 4 string, which turns into a launcher, which you can do some combos off of. So we'll get to that string in a little bit. Next is a pseudo. The next 2 are sort of pseudo unique normals. It's down 1 and back 4. Both of these you gain access to in Ruthless and Vicious when you don't have Ferra on your back. So if you do a Ferra throw and you do a down 1, you're going to get this Lackey down 1. This is one of your best buttons in the game. It's 6 frames, it's got great range, but apparently NRS doesn't like Ferra Torr, and they nerfed this from -3 or -2 or something to -6. No real reason why. They thought it was plus. Anyway, I'll probably cut that out. So yeah, those are the pseudo unique to unique normals. And I probably won't talk as much about these normals in the other 2 videos just because the next set of normals are all universal across character. So you got standing 1, which is a 9 frame high, which goes into this 1-1 combo, which we'll get to later. You have back 1, which is a 10 frame mid, and you'll actually notice that if you look at where Torr's arm is during 1 and back 1, it's actually lower during this 1, even though it's a high. So some characters can neutral duck this back 1 because they have really small hitboxes when they're crouch blocking. So some characters can neutral duck that. So back 1 goes into this back 1 2-1 string, if I can do it right. Wow. And we'll get to strings in a little bit. Next is standing 2. It's an 8. Oh, I might have messed this up. This is a 9 frame high. This is an 8 frame high. Double check that. Yeah, 8 frame, 9 frame. Okay. And you'll also note that that is +1 on block. So that makes a good stat. And this, I believe 1-1 is -1, but I'll talk about strings when I get to strings. So next is 2. It's an 8 frame high. I tend to go for 1-1 as punishes rather than these strings, just because anything that you can punish with 9 frames consistently, you can probably or anything you can punish with 8 frames consistently, getting these mixed up, you can probably punish with 9 frames consistently. Not a whole lot of things that have that 1 frame difference. But so you got standing 2, we already talked about back 2. Next is down 2, which has some interesting properties. They buffed this to be +4, that's technically what the frame data says. It's probably closer to +2. You can set them to stance block and jump, and you'll notice that I leave the ground before Mr. Black does. Now I'm not sure, yeah, it's anywhere, I think the number, somebody tested it anywhere between neutral and +2. It's not going to be +4. Now, this uppercut is really slow. I mean, even if I have to kind of predict when he's going to be up in the air. So it's okay at catching jump-ins, but it's not going to be like your cross-up defense like most other characters have. But you can do some combos off of it. So that was down 2, talked about back 2 and standing 2, and then we also have forward 2, which is this low launcher. And then you'll notice that it hits twice. It's a low mid. This will not actually armor break. The first hit has to connect, like a proper hit, for the next hit to come out. So you're not going to be able to use this to armor break. Next we have 3 is terrible. Don't ever use 3. It's 15 frames of startup, 25 frames of recovery. I mean, it's an okay anti-air. It hits in the right spot, but in no way that's useful. Don't use this. That's all I'm gonna say. Next you have down 3, which is a 7 frame low poke. This is really good if, you know, they're blocking and you've got them kind of conditioned to stand block this down 1. This is a really great way to throw out. This is plus 14 on hit. Let's see if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that's plus 14, and this is 13 frames. So down 3 and a 4 will jail. They can't do anything about that. Along with this is 15 frames. So technically they've only got 1 frame to do something, and not a lot of players will have the kind of reactions to make that read. Next you've got back 3, which is this semi-advancing low. It doesn't have a lot of range on it. But, you know, you're not going to get, I believe, yeah, it's shorter range than this down 1. But you can use this as a low starter for combos. Launching low with his forward 2 then you will, but it's good to keep in mind it's a low that you can use. And I'll talk more about the application of that versus forward 2 in a little bit when we talk about strings. So that was back 4, or back 3, sorry. Next is forward 3. Forward 3 is a really good advancing normal, so only about, you know, maybe a little less than quarter screen. And you'll basically be using this mostly to extend combos. Kind of like that. I mean, you're really going to do, maybe not that one specifically, but it's going to be the way to get easy damage, basically. Yeah, that's all the 3 normals. So standing 4 is your best combo starter. It's going to give you the most damage, and it's 13 frames, so it can punish a good amount of things. Things like, I believe, Aaron Black slide, a lot of the slide moves that are really heavily punishable. You can get a standing 4 punish off on that, and it also makes a decent anti-air just with how high he sticks his foot up. But it's going to be more used for jump-ins rather than cross-ups. Maybe you could get that as a cross-up, actually. I'll have to try that out. Next, you've got down 4, which is this, it's 13 frames as well. It's got a good amount of range on it. I think maybe like Shinnok levels of down 4 range. And it's got quite a bit of pushback on it. So this is a really good way to create space if you're feeling too pressured. If you're not getting these out successfully, or they're just stand blocking these down 1s. Because this is used a lot to interrupt pressure. Throw out this down 4 and you'll get a good amount of space to work with. This is like good cross-up range, or good jump-in range. I don't believe you're guaranteed a jump-in off of that. 25 frames, that's still quite a good bit of hit advantage. You can do this down 4 and run in and get something going on. And it's also plus on block, plus 1 I believe. And then there's forward 4. Forward 4 you're not going to use too much, especially in Lackey. You can kind of get away with doing it in Ruthless and Vicious because of the way some of the combos change. But you're not going to be using this too much in Lackey. You can actually combo straight into this off of a down 1 into like a command grab or something. I don't think you can do... Oh, yep, you can. So yeah, you could do something like that if you can connect that properly. But you're going to be using this more in combos. Right. Easy 30% off a neutral jump. And that's it for buttons. I guess, I could talk about jump-ins. His jump-in 2 is actually pretty good. It's finicky though. The hit arc on it is really weird. Like, you can sometimes get it to hit really early, kind of like that. But other times, I'm terrible at cross-ups as it is. But this jump-in 2 is a really good cross-up jump-in. And his jump-in 1 is actually pretty good as well. It's got a decent amount of range on it. And it's pretty fast as well. And his neutral jump, Lackey's neutral jump is nothing to write home about. We'll talk about that when we talk about Ruthless and Vicious. So those are buttons. Okay, next I'm going to talk about strings. I'm going to try and do it in the right order this time. I'm going to talk about top 3 strings last. I'm going to go over some of the other ones and what they can do. First, I'm going to talk about 4, 2, and 4. It's a decent way to create space if you, like I was saying earlier, if you're getting pressured, you're constantly trying to block, you get one of these down 3s out, you could throw out a 4, 2, and 4, and that creates a decent bit of space. And you can go in for a meaty jump in after that as well. Just because you have enough hit advantage. Let's see how much hit advantage that has. I'm learning things as I'm doing this. I just want to point that out. So many times today I've figured things out. 36. Holy crap. 36 frames of advantage. That's quite a bit. So you can get this guy out, and you're guaranteed a meaty jump in. So that has some uses. If you're getting pressured, you get this down 3 in there, and then go for this 4, 2, and 4. Now, like I was saying, I don't play Lackey as much, so this isn't necessarily how I play this character. I'm trying to work with it more. But these are just the applications that I'm seeing with these strings. So that was 4, 2, and 4. Next, I'm going to talk about 4, 3, 2. On the ground, it shoots them about half screen, or yeah, about half screen, I would say. And there's a decent amount of frame advantage that you can get right up in their face right afterwards. Let's just see how much, shall we? 41. Holy crap! Why am I learning these things now? Yeah, 41 frames of advantage. So again, you can get a meaty jump in on the ground. On the ground, you can do a meaty jump in, but if you hit them in the air, they're gonna fly a lot farther. See? So you don't really want to be doing this too much as Lackey. Your game is gonna be in their face. He's much more of the pressure focused variation, which is funny considering he has less plus frames available, but that's not the point. So I would not suggest using this 4, 3, and 2 in the air if you're not close to a corner. If you're in about maybe this area and you're doing your combo and this is when you can hit in the 4, 2, like they're right in the corner already, and you're at a decent amount of range to just walk up and get your pressure going. On the ground, there's a lot of advantage off of this. This might just be the most advantage he has. Well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Next is back 3, 2, and 4. It's this low overhead. If your opponent doesn't know the matchup, you'll be able to catch them with this string quite a bit. If your opponent doesn't know the matchup, this string is going to be useful. And like I was saying, you can use that low as a special cancel. Next, I'm going to talk about, there's 2 back 4, which is this high-low. It's not your best option if you're punishing. If you can connect with that, you're much better going for this 2 forward 4, because this was something they buffed in MKXL. The 2 forward 4 is now special cancelable across all variations, not just Lacking. The 2 back 4 creates a good mix-up. It's a hard knockdown, and it leaves them right at your feet, which is something you really want to be shooting for in this mid-screen area with Lackey. You don't want to be throwing them full screen a whole lot, because then you have to do a lot more work to get in than they have to do to get out of your pressure, basically. I'm trying to remember all the strings off the top of my head. I haven't talked about him. Okay, I was saying earlier that top 3, I was going to save the top 3 strings for last. 2 forward 4 really should be on that list as well. So it's going to be top 4, just because 2 forward 4 is now special cancelable, and you can do some really crazy stuff just meterless with that. But so that gets a special mention. It is special cancelable, so you can even do like into Toriokin, the launcher, if I can push buttons apparently. So this is your kind of go-to punish string. I personally prefer this one just because I'm more used to it. It's easier for me to push the 2 buttons than the 2 forward 4, but having input problems with this string for some reason. So that gets an honorable mention because it is now special cancelable. And it is going to be a huge part of your combos because of boulder roll, which we'll talk about when we get to specials. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about, quote-unquote, the top 3 strings. Starting at number 3, we have the back 2, 3, 2, and 4 launcher. Now, I'm pretty sure they stealth nerfed the damage on this. I feel like I was getting much better damage off of this string. In all variations, this is for. But I can't be 100% certain. This is the slowest normal you have, but it is still going to be a huge part of your mix-up game. The low is quite a bit faster, so it is fuzzy guardable. You can fuzzy guard it if you don't know what that is. Basically, it's a way to guard fast lows and slow overheads by quickly switching from low to standing blocking. So this, in Lackey, specifically, and only Lackey, you need to hit confirm this string. It's minus 10 on block, and you will get punished consistently if you don't hit confirm it. Throws will easily punish this every time. And if you don't know what hit confirming is, if you watch my input stream on the left hand side there, I'm going to input back 2 and 3 really quickly, and then I'm going to wait, I'm going to visually confirm the hits, and then I'm going to input the 2 and 4. I'm going to go back 2, 3, hits come out 2 and 4. Back 2, 3, hits come out 2 and 4. You have up until the second hit, 3, which is 25 frames, I believe? 24 frames. You got 24 frames to hit confirm this. And like I said, you need to because it is punishable. And this is only minus 2, so it's not punishable. So you can actually even stagger with this. Because if they're expecting this whole string to come out, and you just go with this, and they block it obviously, then you can keep going up some pressure. And that's guaranteed off this jump in, that combos. Next is back 1, 2, 1, 2. This is fantastic string. This is like probably one of the best strings in the game, in my opinion. Maybe Aliens forward 2, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3 might be a little better. But and here's the reason why. There's lots of applications off of this string. First first thing, it's a mid, which is awesome to have as a good punishing string. I've been playing Leatherface and he doesn't have any mids in Killer. So it's mid, first off, great. 10 frames, good. Not the fastest, right? Both 1 and 2 are faster. Back 1, 2 is neutral. So this is a really good way to set up some mind games. If it's what? Okay. Yeah. So you can sort of set up this mind game with 1, 1 and back 1, 2, 1. Wow, I can't believe that. Are you serious? NRS, please. I swear to God, I hate this character. Right? So this is neutral on block. This has some really good applications because it's a really good stagger. Even though there is a little bit of pushback from 1, 2 if it does connect. Then back 1, 2, 1 is once again hit confirmable. I can throw all 3 of those. I can throw. It is minus 6, so it's not punishable. Oh, it's only minus 3. Oh, okay, no, the whole string is minus 6. So yeah, it's safe. So you can do back 1, 2, 1, hit confirm that, and go into whatever combo you want to do. Ah, dang. So hit confirmable. Right? Ah, dang it. Miss it. No, a little tease. And then back 1, 2, 1, 2 is a hard knockdown that leaves them right at Tor's feet. Right in this range. So this string is just great all around. This is great. This is great. This is great because it's hit confirmable, and this is great because it's a hard knockdown. So back 1, 2, 1 is a fantastic string. Finally, I'm going to talk about, I glanced over 1, 1, 1 and 1, 1, 2, and 4. And the reason why is because if you're honestly not getting as much mileage as you could be if you use those strings. I forgot to talk about this, but both 1, 1, 2, and 4, let's take them off that. And 2 forward 4 are 2 forward 4 is a little trickier, but it can launch in the corner. Okay, so I'll talk about 1, 1, 1, which is a good string. It's a hard knockdown, and it creates some space as well. Occasionally, I like to do it as like a combo ender or something, because it does a decent chunk of damage and it sends them full screen, so I can get some space if I want it. Again, it's not something you really want to be doing in Lackey, is creating all that space. But the real icing on the cake is 1-1. And we discovered earlier together that this was 41 frames of advantage, which is really good. That's crazy. 1-1 is plus 40 on hit, so you are guaranteed. Let's just show you. Right, I can talk about it all I want, but I could show you instead. He's got an 8 frame down 2, right? That's pretty good. I think a few characters have 6 frame down 2s, but 8 frames is respectable, right? Nothing to be ashamed of 8 frames. So I'm going to record Mr. Torr doing this 1-1 in a jump in, right? Maybe do it a few times, just do it. So I'm gonna get hit by this. I'm desperately trying to backdash. What's one of his armors? Sand slide, maybe. Yeah, I'll try and like sand slide, right? So I blocked that, but he doesn't have that sand grenade, does he? There is nothing that they can do, right? This is guaranteed. They have to block this. Right, I don't even leave the ground. I'm just holding up right now, and I can't even leave the ground before Torr hits me. So, in Lackey... Oh, I'm on the wrong. In Lackey, if you have an opportunity to punish, I would say, my suggestion, is punish with 1-1, because you are guaranteed this jump in, which guarantees you either the back, if it connects, if you get this 1-1 and it connects, you're guaranteed the back 2, and you're guaranteed the forward 2 as well. So this is a great string. And if, you know, say you do this, and they can block that, you know, if they can block the jump in punch. God, I really hate that reset button. Right? If I set him to auto, right, he can block that. So this isn't like a pure combo, right? I was playing a guy last night and he said he swore that this comboed, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. Right, so that doesn't combo. But say they do block it, right? You jump in, you do your 2, and then you can go straight into a tick throw if they block it. And you can do this slightly differently. I much prefer doing it with a jump in, just because if you land it, you've got enough hit advantage to combo pretty much off of anything, if I can actually combo right. You can do it this way. You can do 1-1 into down 3, and that kind of creates a mix-up. And the reason why I don't personally do that is because this is plus 40, and this is plus 14. So you just threw away 26 frames of advantage for a 2% low, right? And you can't mix up the back 2 and the forward 2 like you can off of the jump there. Yeah, see his jump, it's so weird. It feels like it really hits before it should. Oh, he still sent it. So that's really why 1-1 is the top string, right? That's the number 1 string, is because of this hit advantage you get off of 1-1. I mean, you can even do like 1-1 and then just run and throw. 1-1, run in, back 1-2, 1 pressure. 1-1, run in, go for a tick throw or something. Alright, there's lots of stuff you can do off of this 1-1. So that's it for strings. Okay, so now that I've talked about strings, and I had talked about specials, but apparently I wasn't recording, which is the most infuriating thing in the world. Now I'm going to talk about specials. Actually, and now you'll be able to see them. Okay, so you've seen, I'm gonna start with boulder roll. You've seen boulder roll a few times now in the combos I was doing. It's back forward 2. It doesn't have great range, it's about a quarter screen. And at the longer ranges, you'll be able to combo off of it with on like a first hit, almost anything. At the right, more importantly at the right range. If you do it right at their feet, Torr has to go through that whole animation still. And you're not going to get any combo off of that. So even like a string like that, you can't do anything. You can use it as sort of like a setup. You know, maybe to go into like a tick throw or something. But you need to be a little farther away to actually get something up, and that's why you'll see this combo so effectively, is because the forward 4 pops them back just far enough that you can get this to combo. No. EX Boulder Roll has a hit of armor, and in the same way that this becomes a launcher at max range, or at max range, EX Boulder Roll becomes a full screen launcher, pretty much. Now there's only one hit of armor on this, so you're not gonna, and it doesn't low profile high projectiles, so it's not super viable as an option as far as a launcher, but it is doable, which is more of what this is supposed to be, this guide. And so you'll be getting a lot of mileage off of Boulder Roll in your combos as an extender. You know, that was meterless 32%. Not bad at all. Do all that. So that's Boulder Roll. It's really good. It's what you're going to be using to extend a lot of your combos. I mean, even on like high gravity situations, it'll still work after 2 forward 4. Next is Torr Up. Yeah. That is stand back 2, affectionately called Torryoken. It's a decent combo ender. If you don't have any meter and you're in the corner, say, it's a decent way to end your combos, as it'll do more damage and it won't switch sides. And it also is one of the best armored reversals in the game. I think it's super fast. It's 12 frames. And the 22 frames is for the second hit. This is for the 12 frames. The regular version is just the first hit. One thing I will note, I'm really glad I remembered this because I did talk about it last time, but it fucking wasn't recording. I'm so pissed. And so you'll whiff, and then they get a free whiff punish, basically, because you're in recovery frames. Again, NRS hates this character. I don't understand why. Maybe it's range dependent. Yep, look at that. So maybe at max range it looks like. Yeah, so at max ranges, ducking opponents... Oh, okay, apparently not. Know this, consider it, it happens. And you will get punished for it. But they did alter the scaling on this move, and so you're going to get a lot more damage off of this now. .46%, right, for 1 bar. Yeah. Yeah, guaranteed 40%. So yeah, that's Torr Up. It's unsafe on block now. The regular version is -10, the EX version is -9. It used to be a little safer. So just consider that, and again, consider the fact that you will hop over characters, and apparently Torr doesn't get any autocorrect like a million other characters do, and so it doesn't fix that. Next is his command grab, which is really good, 14%. It throws him full screen, and so I don't personally like doing this in Lackey because I don't have any range options. But it's your highest damaging combo ender, so if you want max damage, you are going to have to end in Backbreaker and the command grab, and let's see how much advantage it has. And it doesn't have much advantage either. It's only 8 on hit, so you're not going to be able to do this, throw them, and then run in and close the distance. I mean, you can see how close I got just running in after that, right before he stands up. I'm not anywhere near that range, whereas with here, I can run up right up in his face before he gets up. So that's Torryoken and Boulder Roll and Backbreaker. The EX version you can switch sides with from holding back, and he throws them the other way, so that's a really good option if you're in the corner and you want to put them in the corner. Then it does a bit more damage. Now they added a mechanic to lots of other characters that EX command grabs would connect on hit. They didn't want Torr to have that. I don't know why.